Hello.
Hello, and welcome to the Knit Girls. I'm Laura, also known as Lala.
I'm Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les.
And this is episode 402. It is August the 7th?
7th, Tuesday.
2018. I had to start dating things in my computer 2019 for end due dates of school.
Yeah.
And so it's like throwing me all off.
Yeah.
But oh my gosh, 2019's like coming up soon.
Yeah, so school started here.
Yep, with kids.
For those of you who are thinking, oh my god, that's early. Yes, it is, but we're also out by Memorial Day.
That's true.
So,
it is early though, I agree. I would like another 3 to 4 weeks off, please.
Yeah.
But I miss the kids. It was good seeing them.
Yeah, so, and Kobe started 10th grade.
Wow.
I did get a picture of him in the afternoon because I was not getting up in the morning with him.
No.
We're past that.
But he went yesterday, right?
Yeah, I got a picture of him on the way home. The buses were 30 minutes late. They're always late on the first couple days.
Yeah, they're late for I would say the first week, because what happens is any kid that they can't find a bus route for, they throw in a bus, and then that bus driver creates a route for them just for that day to get them home. So it kind of slows down the process. Do his buses, y'all don't care about this, but do his buses pick up the middle school too? Because that might be a part of it. Like, you get delayed at the high school, and then you pick up the middle school, and you get delayed there. I bet you that's what happened. Anyway.
I know they pick him up and drop him off at the driveway. That's all I know.
Do you know the bus number?
140.
Yes.
So now y'all can digitally stalk my kid on bus number 140. Good luck getting him to talk to you. So, yeah, it's still stupid hot.
It is.
It's in the 90s.
It was 105 in my car when I got into it this afternoon, which is nice. And a Yellow Jacket tried to follow me in as well, and I was like, you are not invited.
You were making friends everywhere.
This ride is not for you. Get out. Which really equaled me screaming and opening my door and running around my car until it got out.
Yeah.
Visual image for y'all.
Yeah.
Alright, well, I am knitting on one sweater.
Go ahead, because I'm in the middle of a row.
Okay, well, I keep going
You're
round
always
and
in
round.
the middle of a
So
row.
I'm always in the middle of a row. I am knitting on the Simple Summer Tweed Top-Down V-Neck by Heidi Kermayer. And it is out of Madhash Vintage in the Grey Garden colorway. I'm knitting it on size 6 needles, and I'm just going round and round and round and round and round. I do have a little bit of a belly, so I added some increases after my waist to so it's not like snug, hey, here's your belly.
It's not sausage casing.
Yeah, because I don't like that. I'm knitting the size 48. I am a 46 bust, but I wasn't quite getting gauge when I did my gauge swatch. I was getting 16 and a half stitches to the inch instead of 16. So I figure it's going to work out. I tried on, when it got to the undersleeve of the arms, I tried it on and it went over fine. So I'm guessing it's going to... And Vintage is a superwash merino, and it grows a lot. So I'm not super worried about that. It is a nice dense fabric. I would not be thinking that I would be getting 16 and a half stitches to the inch and it still be fairly dense out of a worsted.
And you're knitting this in what, like a size 5?
6. Yep. It calls for a rolled edge on the sleeves, the neckband, and the bottom. I think I'm going to go down to a 5 and do ribbing. I'm going to increase a little bit. I'm going to make sure that my number is divisible by 4 of total stitches, and maybe increase that a little bit, and then do ribbing at the bottom on size 5s, because I don't like it when my sweaters roll back up.
Yeah, I was going to say, that would not go well for you.
And also, like, if I get growth on my arm sleeve length, because that's what happened with my last vintage, it grew a lot, I'd rather have a sleeve that I can fold over, ribbed-wise, than have to, like, do sweater surgery and cut it.
What about on the neck?
I think I'm still going to do the rib there.
You could do...
I'm going to pick up the stitches and see.
You could do, like, an applied I-cord.
Yeah.
Which would give it a nice, like, finished... Or you could do ribbing. It doesn't matter.
Well, what she calls for is, like, you pick up and then bind off, which is essentially an applied I-cord. I think that's what... I haven't gotten to that part in the pattern. And let's slow our roll a little bit. So... I'm not super worried about the neckband. I don't actually want it a lot higher, because when I put it on,
Yeah.
The V-neck's still, like, way high for a V-neck, I feel like.
Yeah.
It's definitely something that I could still wear to work. And I would wear a shirt under it anyways, because I'm weird about layering at work, because I'm always hot or always cold. So, but with khakis for work, or jeans on a jeans day, I get to wear jeans twice. And on Fridays, I can wear whatever kind of appropriate professional top I want with it. So, I think this might...
Does your work send out, like, what they consider appropriate?
No. I've had bosses, my current boss does not do that. I've had bosses do that before with footwear. Like, this is a flip-flop, this is not a flip-flop, this is a flip-flop, this is not a flip-flop. And it's always been male bosses who do that, which is really, really interesting to me. But this current one does not, and he's actually really low-key. We've had a lot of transfers to my school from other schools in the county, which is really cool right now, which means that we are the place to be. One of the places to be. So that's pretty exciting. But they were one of the transfers was telling me, like, they can't wear t-shirts, even with, like, khakis. Like, not, like, non-print t-shirts, just, like, plain colored t-shirts. They couldn't wear, and I was like, okay. So that's interesting, because I wear, like, solid color t-shirts with no print on them, with like khakis or black pants or like a vest over or sweater over, but still they had to wear like a collared shirt.
Yeah.
And I have boobs. I feel like people who decide that collared shirts, buttons up the front, are a good idea are always men. Because for me, to get one that doesn't gap in the front and still is long enough, I have to go up like I'm swimming in it. So I stopped wearing button downs quite a while ago. Although I've been able to find tall stuff at like Gap and Old Navy, I like to hulk out of things apparently. Anyway, so this is what I'm working on, and I'm working on some Likey needles, Licka needles, however we're saying them this week.
I think it's Licka.
Okay, and I'm enjoying them immensely. I kind of want another set in the blue, because I use these ones all the time.
You do use them a lot.
So, that's it. Oh, and I have a little marker, my progress pig, to Amy Florence it, which is not a pig, it's a sheep.
Yeah.
But that was my 10-inch mark. So I'm around 11 and a half inches in to the body. I'm going to go to 17 and then do ribbing, because I'm 19 from my armpits to my, like, high hip. Or hip. More hip. That's where I like my sweaters to be. So that is what I am currently working on. I have another works in progress though too, and then I'm done. And that's living in my this giant bag.
Hikari handmade.
Yeah, my Hikari handmade.
Several
bag.
people asked about this, so show the tag so people can see how it's spelled. Because I sent the link to everybody that asked about it, but these were sent to us by a viewer who
really likes her bags. And they're really nice. I'm enjoying them immensely.
They're quite large, which is helpful.
Yeah. I think if you're looking for a large bag, this is a good choice. The Fat Squirrel, like Aran sweater weight. And then, it's Michelle in Maine, and I can't remember.
3 bags full? Yes,
has a very large bag as well. All of those are superb. Oh, and Bags by Awesome Granny.
Yeah.
Also a great large bag maker.
Yeah, and her prices are really competitive.
And Chicken Boots Studios got some larger ones as well. Anyway, those are some of our faves. Speaking of Fat Squirrel, these are my judgy bunnies. They're secretly judging you and me.
I don't think that there's much secret about it, but
I finished a sock.
Wow.
Boom. I didn't do the heel, but these are toe up. This is Nomadic yarns. I always want to call it Nomadic Knits, but this is Nomadic Yarns. She's out of the Chicago area, and she does a whole bunch of Harry Potter colorways, and it is my secret goal to knit them all and have a whole drawer of Harry Potter socks. Like Lady Amy Florence has her Christmas socks.
Yeah.
I want a drawer of Halloween socks, and then I want a drawer of Harry Potter socks.
Is that all? That's not much.
That's it. No, it'll be fun. So like Halloween socks for 30 days and Harry Potter socks for 335 days.
Wow.
That's it.
Well, all right then.
That's all I want in life. So ridiculous. I know I'm ridiculous.
Just a little bit.
So this was knit toe up, and I put in an afterthought heel. That's what that orange line right there is. It's really a forethought heel because I'm not cutting it.
Right.
I kind of measured as I went. I did this in faculty meetings last week, so I got some good knit time in. And then I have the other half still to go, so I'm going to work on that. I'm going to cast that on because I'm going to a football game. Well, I gave you wrong dates. So next week is not my insane week. It's the week of the 20th.
Okay.
So, although I have some insane things that I have to tell you about later. But, like, that Monday's volleyball, Tuesday's open house, Wednesday's knit night at my house, Thursday's football. So, that's my busy week where Pearl will be crying because she never sees me.
No love from Mommy.
No love for the puppy. She'll be fine. We'll go for a walk in between events, and she'll be super happy. So, this is Nomadic. I'm knitting this. This is her sport weight. So, I'm knitting this on size 1s. And it is 56 stitches. Yeah, 28, 56. So, yay! Gonna get it done. Gonna have some new socks. There'll be pair like 3 of Harry Potter socks. Or 4. I miss that. I hate that I missed the opal when they did all the Harry Potter colorways like 20 years ago. I wish, because it's the 20th anniversary of Harry Potter this year.
Oh my god.
That they would like relaunch them.
Wow.
I know. There's I don't know if there's any near us, but some movie theaters are showing the Harry Potter on the big screen.
Really?
We should see if there are any. That'd be fun.
The original ones?
Yes.
Like all of them?
Just the first,
Oh,
I think.
I was going to say, then you'd have to watch them.
Wow, that's true.
Laura stopped watching after the 4th one.
I only like the first 4 books.
Then people start to die, and that can't happen.
No, I don't like it when people die, y'all. I'm done. Well, I can't watch the last one, because, no, I'm not going to spoil. Maybe you've not read Harry Potter. I'm not spoiling it for y'all. But people start dying in the 4th book, and it stresses me out.
She's a real person. This actually happens.
So that's it for me and knitting. And I have no finished objects and no spinning, so you just make it the less
Whoa.
show for a bit. I'm just going to sit here and knit on my sweater for
It
a
is
little
a
bit.
very unusual week where you don't have spinning.
Yeah. It's been a little bit busy.
Okay.
Welcome to the first few weeks of school. Do you remember when... Oh, happy belated birthday, by the way.
Thank you.
I already wished her a happy birthday a couple days ago when it was actually her birthday, but do you remember when I decided to knit you socks for your birthday? And I decided to knit one, like, in the month of July, and then I knit the other one the first week of school, and at Stitches.
Yeah,
when I went
and
to
one of
Stitches
them is
Midwest.
3 inches bigger around, and the other one is 3 inches longer this way.
Because I was just going by
The
the
gauge
stripes.
differences were so crazy, yeah.
I just went by the stripe sequence, and
Yeah, I gave those back to you to fix, and they are still at your house.
still haven't fixed them. That was like 6 years ago.
So...
I wish we could have gone to Stitches, but it's too crazy it being the first week of school.
I mean, we want to go to every event.
Well, that's
It's just
true.
You know,
All
unfortunately,
the
real
things.
life kind of butts its head in sometimes. So knitting. I have got a couple things I'm working on.
Just a couple.
Just a couple. I did refrain from casting on anything new this week. It was a struggle, I'm going to be honest.
Because 3 sweaters is not enough.
Yeah.
You probably have another sweater on the needle somewhere.
I don't think so.
I don't know. I feel like you have a missing sweater.
I don't think so.
You don't have another hoagie on the needles?
Mm-mm. Because since I started farming them out to Gwen, I don't knit as many myself.
I know.
So
But I feel like you have another sweater.
maybe
on
I
the
do.
needles.
I've forgotten if I have.
I'm sure someone will let you know.
Oh, I'm sure that's true. So I cast on for the front of the Sevilla pattern. It is a very simple V-neck, sort of a boxy shaped sweater by Amy Christophers. Christophers. I can't remember.
Christopher's.
I know we said it wrong all the way until we met her.
It's Christopher's.
Okay.
Wait, maybe not. Maybe I'm...
One of those. It's her.
Oh, man.
She's the in-house designer for
Barocco. And she's lovely.
Yeah.
Y'all should meet her
She
and
is a
hang out
lovely
with
person.
her. She's at Rhinebeck every year.
I did a tubular cast on and 1x1 ribbing, which is kind of pointless in this yarn because you can't even tell. And it's at such a large gauge that it's not going to matter anyway.
But it
anyway,
looks nice.
I mean, it
when it stretches, you'll be able to tell.
We'll see. I did put a little progress pig on my...
I love that we're calling them progress pigs and they're not actually pigs.
Mine is a pig.
Oh, it is a pig!
Yeah.
Look at you.
These are the ones you got me.
They're from Firefly Studios,
Yeah.
and they're amazing. She's got some cool... She's got raindrop-shaped stitch markers right now that I really, really like. She's out of Canada.
We're talking about my pigs, though.
Yeah, I like your pigs. I have cats with cat ears.
Yeah, I do like those.
She sent a bunch of cool stuff to SSK as door prizes.
So I knit about 1.5 inches to 2 inches of ribbing, and then I just started the stockinette section. This yarn is not the happiest yarn to work with, but I do...
Does it make your heart sing?
No. I do look forward to the finished item. It is Barocco Mykonos, and it is a linen cotton viscose blend.
Horse-spun.
Yeah. And if you just look at it funny, it unwinds itself. So
I love it when you demo that every time. It makes me so happy. Mainly because I'm not working with it.
Yeah, because you don't have to deal with it. You should not attempt to wind this on a skein winder, because it will just end in tears.
For everyone?
Yeah. But I'm knitting that on US, I think 7s, no 6s for the body. I think it was 2.5 for the ribbing. And, you know, nothing special. It's just stockinette. I hope I get
do you have, like, a
few
weekly
inches.
goal in mind? Like, do you want to get an inch a week, or?
I would like to get a couple of inches on both this sweater and the other one every week.
Yeah.
I don't know how realistic that is. We'll see.
I want to get 2 inches knit on this a day, because that's 150 yards.
Yeah, it's not going to happen for me. But
It's around 16 rounds.
yeah.
Not that I've been timing myself and figuring this
Never.
out at all. Actually, I haven't timed myself yet.
Um,
I just weighed the skeins to see how many yards were around. Because I like doing 50...
she didn't time herself. She just weighed the skeins.
I like doing 50 yards. I like 50 yards a night is a good sustainable goal for me.
Which is clearly not as bad. So
I'm feeling a little bit of judgment coming from
you are a
everybody.
metrics-driven person, and that is fine. That it is fine because it makes it an interesting show, because I am not at all.
Well, we're very much opposite in a
Yeah.
lot of ways. That's what makes us good friends.
Hopefully. Hopefully you're not just pretending.
Are you breaking up with me on the podcast?
Yeah. If that were the case, I would never do this alone. Nope.
No.
I may lie to you and say I would do it, but after about a week, I'd be like, yeah, I don't feel like it. Just not going to do it.
Oh.
So last week I had just cast on for Pavement. This is a
Ooh, that's
Vera
pretty.
Valimaki sweater. It's got this very simple garter stitch edging, and in the back there are short rows in that garter stitch, so it's much bigger in the back.
I love short rows and garter stitch. What kind of short rows did you do?
Just the German short
Wrap
rows.
and turn?
Yeah. Nothing special. Because it's in garter stitch, so you won't see the wraps anyway.
I love that. That's why I love short rows and garter stitch.
So,
you might be changing my mind. I might need to cast on a Pavement out of my tweed, and then we could be Tweedy twins.
we could be. That'd be amazing. We could say who wore it better. It would not be me. That's okay.
I don't know if I'd like that idea.
This does have an unusual, for me, sleeve construction.
It looks
Usually,
like a saddle sleeve.
if you're doing like a top down, it is usually either set in or raglan. And this is sort of a raglan, but it's increasing every single row. There's no regular like rest rows in between, so it comes off as almost a saddle shoulder.
It's interesting.
So I was
I'm gonna
able to
let
divide
you
for the
knit
sleeves
yours
much
first.
faster. Yeah, because mine will be plenty big for you to try on.
Yeah, and I'm going to try it on and see if I like it.
So, you know,
Leslie's my sweater guinea pig.
it's only, 4 inches maybe of knitting before you divide for the sleeves.
I don't know if that would work for me,
So it's
like,
more like straight out versus a slow slope down.
Yeah, when I do this, I need 9 inches.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. I mean,
Huh.
maybe there's like short rows here on the cap once you pick it up.
Oh, that would be super
I haven't gotten
smart.
that far, so we'll see.
Vera is super smart.
She is.
So
She's a very clever lady.
I'm sure she knows her stuff.
So I am about inch and a half maybe past the sleeve divide. And this is the Tweedy Toes base from Two Guys Yarn Company in the Bordeaux colorway. The yarn is lovely to work with, and because it was all from the same dye lot, from the same dyer, and I can see zero difference looking at the skeins, I'm not alternating. What I'll do is once I get down to like the last 10 grams or something, I'll alternate.
That's
until I
an
run out.
Choice. We're gonna see how that works for you.
That's very like
it wasn't judgmental.
Yes, it was.
Oh, maybe a little. I'm alternating skeins on my sweater.
Good for you. I'm not.
Like the sweater that I'm currently working on.
I'm not.
Okay.
If it ends up terribly different, then
You'll
I'll
rip
cry
that?
and then I'll over dye it.
Oh, well, that's a truth too. I like the color of my blue tweed that I got from them. So, I don't think I'll...
Yeah.
I think I'm going to alternate.
I won't worry about it. So I'll put another progress pig in for where I am right now. We'll
All
see.
the pigs!
We'll see if I make good progress on it this week or not.
Can you name the podcast All the Pigs?
I could, yeah. If nothing funnier comes up before the end of the show.
All the pigs.
So there's that, and then because I had finished objects for 2 weeks in a row, I wanted to have a finished object for this week.
Oh my goodness.
And this isn't really a finished object.
I love that you're carrying the show.
It is a thing that will be part of a bigger thing, but it technically is a finished thing.
I feel like we're missing a sweater. You had 3 last week. Did you not work on
I didn't work on the Deshane, the Aran White one. I didn't work on that one, so I didn't bother showing it. So I pulled out the squares that I'm doing for the Pathways blanket. It's a free pattern by Frankie
Brown.
Is it Brown? Yeah. Frankie something. It's a free pattern. She does tons of free patterns.
I think it's Frankie Brown.
And there is a person that's linked in my show notes, Salty Pearl, who did a version with just your basic gray and then this Lion Brand shawl in a ball. And
it's gorgeous.
Restful Rainbow.
It was one of the Ravelry feature projects.
Yeah. And I just really loved it. So, I cast it on in the same exact yarn. The gray is different, but it's just solid gray, so it doesn't matter. And I did 2 finished. So I did squares. So they're not really finished objects, but they are bound off.
And you're not weaving in the ends until you go to seam, or
not for now. Okay. So the blanket that she did was 10 by 10, so it was 100 squares, and I'm at like 16 or 17.
Yeah.
So I'm going to finish the first skein of the shawl in a ball, and I'm going to sort of lay out my squares and get an idea of how big I want it to be.
Okay.
And then from there, I'll start watching TV and weaving ends in and stuff. But depending on how I seam it, I want to be able to use the ends as the seam, as the yarn to seam. Yeah. So we'll see. I've still got probably 10 squares worth of the shawl in a ball, which is a slow gradient. So we'll see. So that happened. Each one of these takes about an hour. It's pretty quick. And I'm using the Licca needles, believe it or not, the double points.
Oh yeah.
For this. Size 9s.
My goodness. That's huge.
Yeah. Alright. So there's that. I do have the tiniest amount of spinning. God, I feel like I sort of took over the show. So at SSK, I was in a breakout. I wasn't leading it. I just sat in on it.
With
Alina.
Knits. Yeah, I love her.
She is one of the sisters in the
Weasley sister podcast.
There you go.
Her and Naturally Nitty.
And she's super into the Harry Potter Knit and Crochet House Cup. Which is
one of the reasons why I'm still in it, actually.
An online made-up competition for imaginary points.
And she makes gorgeous bags, including, like, rope baskets. And then her sister does gorgeous roll-outs and bats. Naturally Nitty, I have some of her Grumpy Rainbow.
That's right.
I like her stuff a lot.
So, she was a lovely person, and in her sweater class, or in her breakout, it was talking about like sweater mashups and how she did it. And the basic sort of takeaway concept was just experiment and don't be afraid of what you get, because it'll be fun and you'll be able to do something with it, whatever you end up with. But one of the things that she does often to get a 4-ply for sweaters is she spins 2 singles. All right, so you got single A and single B. And single A will remain a single when you go to ply it. It'll still act as a single. And then single B, you're going to chain ply.
It's like a cheater crepe.
Yeah. So, or chain or Navajo ply, as some people call it. But, so as you're taking single B and you're plying it and you're creating that chain, you're also joining it with single A at the same time. And you're creating a 4-ply. So I wanted to try that. So I just took a couple of little samplers of fiber over to Laura's this weekend.
Oh, I need you to tomorrow when you come over. You should do the thick and thin crepe so that I can have those bobbins back, or I can wind that stuff.
No, remind me tomorrow and I'll do it.
I have 4 bobbins for you.
That's amazing.
Well, that's something.
So that's what I did. I just took some. I just wanted to see what it looked like.
I love it. I think it would be gorgeous as a gradient for your chain ply, and then like a solid contrast for the other ply.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a really cool way. Now I want to play with this concept more.
So what I'm actually thinking is, there's a lady in Australia named Amanda, and she runs like a rescue for wombats and kangaroos and other wildlife in that area.
Farm.
And she sent me. She has a local store called First Edition Fibers. I don't know how local, but it's local enough that she goes a few times a year. And they had some really well priced. I guess you would call it sliver. It's kind of like, you know, the ropey roving, but it's topped. No, it's not pin drafted. So it would be kind of like pulling it through a diz.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like 8 ounces of it, and it's the gelato color, so it's like a white with like hints of a light green and a light pink and other colors, but it's really subtle. And so what I want to do is spin that and then ply it with some natural colored fleece as the chain ply, and then just have that mostly white with the little pops of color.
That would be fun.
So it would give it almost a tweed effect.
Yeah,
I think
that'd be a fun sample to do.
But yeah, I want to sample it and see what it's like. So this has got way too much twist in it because I didn't let it rest at all. I spun 2 samples and plied them immediately. So, like I said, I just wanted to see what it looked like.
And then she tried to soak it in my sink, which lost water.
Yeah.
My bathroom sink.
Her bathroom sink doesn't hold water real well, but that's okay. No big deal. So it came out pretty well. I do want to knit a little sample with it as well, just to kind of see.
Yeah, I'll be interested. I want to play with that concept as well.
What it looks like. And if somebody out there, if there's already like a term for this ply, I'd be curious to find out what it is, so that I don't have to keep calling it a cheat or 4-ply, because it's really not a cheat. I mean, you are creating a 4-ply.
It's more like a quicker crepe.
Yeah.
Although you're only doing one. It can't be a crepe because you're only going through once. Yeah. You're only plying once.
So if any of you have taken classes or actually have read the spinning books that you own, and you know what this term is.
I don't think I've ever seen that in any of the books that I own.
I can't remember if I've seen anything like that in the Sarah Anderson one.
I don't think I have.
That would be the one.
Yeah, that would be the one that I would think that it would pop up in.
So there's that.
I decided to get a little closer to you.
That's cool. That's all the spinning that I have. But we do have a book review. Remember when we did those?
We've been a little slack around that lately.
So,
but Hunter, our good friend Hunter Hammersen, sent us her new book to review, and it's super awesome, so we wanted to share that with you. And I think we have a review set up that's going to actually work.
Let's see.
And be amazing. And it's going to.
Yeah.
Look at that.
So you're going to
Watch this.
You're going to be the magic hands.
Oh, I get to be magic hands?
Because you have the pretty nails and mine are terrible.
I've been doing textbooks this week. Nothing is pretty about me. Alright, so this is Firmament. Mm-hmm. It is Stellar Stitches for Your Next Adventure by Hunter Hammersen. It retails for $19.95 in the US. The cool thing about this book is it was Hunter. She did this one hat and she's playing with the stitches. And so that one hat became 3 other hats as well. But the whole back is a stitch dictionary. So the very front, I love Hunter and her pants full of press. She also has a curls book coming out soon, a new one in that series. But there's an introduction, of course, and a close-up of all these dip stitches. And dip stitches are picked up from rows below. And so everything in here is pulling an extra loop of yarn through the fabric that you've already created and then working that stitch for a bit. So it's been happening for a while. She's the person who's calling them dip stitches, where you dip them down into your fabric to create extra stitches. But this whole book has to do with those. She kind of got obsessed with it a little bit.
I can see why.
I think they're fun. She always does really clear charts. In the beginning of the book tells you how to measure for the hats, hat height, blocking the hats. She's very consistent in the quality of her intros and how in-depth they go as an intro, how to read charts, how to actually do the dip stitches with diagrams and more diagrams and more diagrams. And then there's the first hat, which is Constellate.
Yeah.
It is made with 325 yards of Tosh Merino light. I believe everything in here is a fingering weight yarn, but we'll have to check.
Yeah, and the patterns are written with these up here, the gauge stitches, so that if you want to adjust it to a heavier weight, you can do that with this combined with the chart earlier with your head size.
Yep. So, but she doesn't give you how much yarn you might need for those, so
right.
That might vary. It's a super simple pattern, and then there's the charts as well. And then we have, and I love this book because it's small in size, but there's loads of pictures in it.
Beauty shots.
So you get a shot from the top, from this upper side, and then from the side laying flat.
I'm obsessed with every hat in this book.
Leslie and I were talking, this might be a book that she works her way through. So this is side reel, and it's 275 yards of skinny singles. So another singles weight. This would be a great way to use up some singles skeins that you have in fingering weight.
If you picked up a Tosh Merino light or something.
There's another beauty shot. Another beauty shot. And then we have Ecliptic,
yeah. And
I like how that looks kind of like the frost on a window.
Yeah, if you look, I love the detail in how you've got these columns separated by reverse stockinette. And
they could also be leaves if you did it in a green or like a fall color.
It almost looks like that Greek, this crown Caesar wore, the
leaves.
Yeah.
So we've got that. Tons of beauty shots again.
She does so brilliantly
her
with
decreases at the top are always on point. Then the fourth hat, Ephemeris.
Yeah, that's my best.
And that's out of Mrs. Crosby in their fingering weight yarn satchel in the gray stone colorway. That uses 400 yards. You can make these, of course, shorter if you didn't fold the brim over.
Right.
So if you wanted a non-folded brim, that would use up less yarn for sure. Love those
pretty.
lawns.
Every hat in this book is pretty.
Those decreases at the top. And then she gets into different variants Oh, and there's cowl versions of all these too. So if you want to knit a cowl, she gives you the directions. It's just basically the body without the decreases.
Yeah.
And rib at the top and bottom. So you can make matching cowls to match your hats. And then she's got different stitch patterns. So how to do a bunch. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 different variant stitch patterns in the back as well. So it's a mini Stitchtionary in the back. So we really, really like this book. It's cute. It's really, really a fun pint-sized book. It only really has 8 patterns in it, but the Stitch Dictionary in the back also makes it worth the while. So if you like doing things like dip stitches where you pick up from the row below or several rows below, this might be the book for you. If you want to try that for the first time, this might be a great book to invest in. So that is Firmament. Stellar Stitches for Your Next Knitting Adventure by Hunter Hammersen. Is there anything else that you wanted to say about that?
No, I just wanted to point out that, you know, it might seem a little pricey, $20 for, you know, a 4 to 8 pattern book, but it's kind of a new technique. It's kind of a whole
You're not going to find it anywhere else, probably. Concept?
Yeah, you know.
I mean, nothing in knitting is really new, and that's what she says at the beginning. But I've not seen anyone do this.
Right, and she does it very
consistently
well.
Before.
And she breaks down how to change the patterns from, you know, one gauge to another or one size to another really well and fully.
And these are not patterns that you're going to find, like, I'm not going to open my Barbara Walker and find these patterns.
Right.
She's created these stitch patterns. So I think that's a huge difference.
So the book,
well.
It's going to go up for pre-order on the 14th, I believe.
Which is next week.
And then the book goes live on the 21st, which is a week later. If you order the physical copy, you do get a code.
In the back?
In the back. It's still covered, so I can show it to you. The code doesn't work.
She does that with all her books, where you get the e-book version, which is really, really nice.
Yeah. I don't know if there's a different price just for the digital version. It doesn't say yet, but I don't know. I think it's a pretty fair price.
Scroll down a little bit. Do you see those stars that she's making? Keep going. Look at those.
Oh, those are cute.
Look at that. So Hunter's obsessed. She did these heart patterns earlier, and now she's doing stars. She did an Instagram live today, which will probably be gone by the time that you guys see this, but she did like 12 different like she's doing some that are reverse stockinette, some that have the ribbing like that. Yeah, like I am obsessed. I want to make these stars for Christmas tree ornaments for my people at work and my knit group this year.
Wait, I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it is only 5 needles. It just looks like a lot more.
Yeah.
3, 4, 5. I keep having to count them, thinking.
I'm super obsessed with these. Like these, and I knit the heart that she did for Alice.
Yeah, I remember that.
I love that pattern. Oh, I didn't knit it for Alice. That one was for me. I have knit both my nieces on their first day of kindergarten. I knit them little hearts to put in their pocket, so if they were worried, they could hold on to them. I actually have some kids at work that I should do that for too.
So anyhow, I guess I can turn this off. You don't.
But those I am obsessed with right now.
They're pretty cute.
And if I was going to, I think she's going to publish the pattern soon because, you know, Jasmine and Gigi do their Grinch along, and someday I am going to be able to participate because I'm going to get my Christmas knitting done by December 1st.
We should convince all of our SSK attendees to knit one of those, and then we could make a garland. Wouldn't that be pretty?
That would be pretty.
Convincing other people to do our work.
No, that would be gorgeous. I would spin Christmas lights to go around it.
That'd be pretty. That
would be, or we could hang them from the spun Christmas lights.
All these plans probably will never happen, but we like to talk about it.
That would be amazing. Or they could do a star swap.
Yeah.
At the end.
We really love Hunter Hammersen. We've met her in person.
Bias.
We would happily have her teach at SSK, but she's not the kind of person who enjoys being in front of a bunch of people teaching, which I get.
Yeah, she's more introverted, which is not a negative thing at all.
No, not at all. So, you know, we are definitely
we would have
biased.
her in a heartbeat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because her brain is so awesome, and she's doing more of these Instagram live videos. She's great to follow on Instagram. I think because when you're talking to a computer, the pressure is kind of off.
Mm-hmm.
So she's been doing these Instagram live videos that have been really, really thoughtful and into her design process, but also, like, before the designs come out, like, different variations that you can make, like with the stars today. So I've really enjoyed watching those as well.
I remember she knit a hat in a colorway called Bug Jar like 2 years ago. I still want that colorway.
It was so on the
pretty.
round, wasn't it?
I don't remember. I just remember it was in Bug Jar. It was like gray with pops of yellowish green. Totally not my color, but I still want it because she sold it to me. She sold me that item, you know.
She's done a couple things out of Lemonade Shop recently that have been really, really pretty.
Yeah.
She's one, like, I need to go back, and I've knit 2 of her curls, the same one twice, I should say. But I really want to knit the rest of the ones in that book.
She is fearless about ripping out, too.
Oh, like, yeah.
When it comes to ripping out, I will explore every option to avoid it.
But that's just part of her process.
Yeah. But
I love Hunter. Anyway.
She's lovely. All right, enough love on Hunter. Although we do love her. For books, I'm still listening to the Cut and Run series. I'm on the 8th one, Ball and Chain, which is the one where they're attending a wedding in Scotland and things go awry on a private island.
As things will go awry on a private island. I will never have that lifestyle.
No, apparently, I don't know if that's a real thing or it's just a book thing, and I never will because I don't have access to a private island. But that's okay. And I started reading this sort of weird paranormal book called Four Psychos.
How was that book that you were reading last time that you
gave up?
Okay.
So that's actually, I made a note in here to mention, I desperately need book and audiobook recommendations. Because
mine were not good enough last night.
It's not that. It's that I've listened or read to the majority of the things that you recommended.
And Leslie doesn't like Dresden Files, which makes me super sad.
It's just not my thing. And I'm not a huge fan of vampire stuff or ghost stuff.
But you like Alana Andrews, which is 99% vampire stuff. It's just non-sexualized vampires.
Maybe that's it. Maybe it's the sexualization. I feel like because there's always a power thing involved in that, and that sort of ties into another complaint I have is I ended my Audible romance thing, which is like $6 a month, but I still have access for the next, I don't know, week or something before the billing ends. And so I downloaded a couple of really highly rated, customer rated things.
And what?
One of them was like the Highland Seer, and another one was a dragon one. But both of them I got less than an hour in and I couldn't do it anymore because like the heroine, the woman, is so like simpering and she, has no confidence in herself. And
have you read the Chloe Neal books? They're vampire, but they're good.
I don't think so. I'll look them up.
Chicagoland vampires. They're good.
I don't think I have. But so I need some recommendations. If you guys have any strong characters, if they're male or female, I don't care. But I really dislike
people who whine
or a very obvious power difference where one character
has all the power.
Yeah, is so much better or more talented or whatever than the other person. Science fiction and or fantasy preferred.
Urban paranormal.
Yes. No nonfiction because reading is my escape. I would prefer it to be fake. That's it. I look forward to your recommendations. Thank you in advance.
I have a giant pile of books, so I do not need any recommendations, but I have restarted reading some kids' books. And the one that I'm reading right now is called Front Desk. It is by Kelly Yang. It is about a girl who, her parents immigrate to the U.S. and she's been told it's going to be this amazing place where you can eat hamburgers and have a house with a dog. And her parents, I think her mom was like an aerospace engineer, or she was an engineer of some kind. And her parents are very, very smart, but when they move to the U.S., that doesn't translate.
Yeah, you have to start over, essentially.
So, they become homeless. They're living in a car with no air conditioning. And finally her dad gets a job as like the fry basket operator at like a Chinese restaurant. And eventually they end up working at a motel. And she works she's 12? I feel like 12. 10. I was telling Leslie all about this as I was sitting here. She's 10 and she's working the front desk. So expectations are not what she thought they were going to be. It's really good so far. I like reading books right now that give me outside perspectives because I'm not going to be an immigrant as of right now anywhere else. Like, I'm sticking to the U.S. right now. So to have this outside perspective of people coming into the country and basically starting over is really, really interesting for me to see what's going to happen. So that's Front Desk. It's by Kelly Yang. It's a middle grade novel that just came out. I think Scholastic published it. I heard about it from John Shu, who works for Scholastic and does a lot of kids' book recommendations, and he and a bunch of other people have just been raving about it. So I ordered it on Amazon. So I'll let you guys know how that works out. But it's good so far. The whole 3 pages that I've read, but, back to school. I'm going to get on that train. We're going to be reading again. Reading kids stuff again. I never stopped reading, but reading some more kids stuff for sure. Coming up events, we are going to be at the Vicksburg SIP.
Fiber in the SIP?
Yep.
Fiberfuninthesip.com, I think.
Yeah, and we're going to be there at the end of September. I think it's September 21st, 22nd?
I think so,
Right around that weekend. So we will be there then. We might be at SAF. We haven't really discussed it yet. My parents are going to be out of town, so we can crash at their house. They told us it was okay, but they won't be there. So, and
it's a long drive for Laura, who can't take off time before
8.5 hours around to Asheville.
Yeah.
From here. It's 6.5 to Knoxville. So, and then we add 2 hours in that morning and 2 hours in that night. The good news is, if we do crash at my parents', I can bring Pearl, so I don't have to get a puppy sitter. But trying to do that as a 3-day weekend might get a little complicated.
Yeah. Although we could visit that bookstore again.
We could, and we would see Jillian Marino, who's one of my favorite human beings on the planet. So,
as opposed to the other sentient species on the planet.
I really like her. And I'd like to take her. She's teaching a class. Well, I'm not going to tell you which class I'm going to take, because then y'all will sign up for it and I won't get a spot. But she has a class. I'll talk about it later after we decide if we're going or not, and then I sign up and then I'll tell you about it. She has a class that I want to take. So you have to decide from her 6 classes which ones that I want to take. Ridiculousness. We're hoping to get to Madrona, but that's not set in stone at all yet. Again, I can't. And actually, what makes it more complicated for me is we're supposed to have that weekend off. It's like President's Day. Mm-hmm. What's the one in February?
President's Day. January is Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
It's President's Day weekend, and so I'm not allowed to take off the day before, right. So I'll have to work that out with my boss, so we'll have to see if I can do that. But we'd like to go to Madrona. It is the last year, so it's kind of hit or miss for us.
Yeah.
Stash Dash is still going on. It's going to be going on till the 27th of August. Yeah. I have to total up my yardage. I think I'm around 15K.
I need to total it up. I have no idea.
So maybe if I'm hoping to finish the sweater by then. So that'll get me like another 1,200 yards, which will equal like 1,000 meters or so. The striped socks yarn no long is still going on. I'm going to close tonight the July, thank you. The July thread, and then we'll pull for that next week. We got a bag from Whimsy Stitches that we'll pull for.
Yep.
And then we'll decide on next month's prize for that. And then Patreon we'll also do next week as well.
Yeah. Every single thing that I'm obligated to send out has been sent out.
Yay!
As of right now, I'm totally caught up.
Yay!
That will change next week when we draw names, but that's okay.
Right now we're all caught up. She even returned my ball winder to its home so it can get a tune-up.
Yep.
So my ball winder is MIA right now.
It's in Texas somewhere, Sawyer B.
Yeah, so it went back to Sawyer B to get a tune-up, and we're going to see what they say, because it Got a little messed up. It's
Yeah,
not
it
quite
just
working.
had, 100-something different people using it, and
Stuff happens.
everybody uses stuff differently. So.
Yeah. My shocked little pieces came, and I put them someplace safe. I have no idea where that is. So, I'll find them and then fix my Swift. It's held together with a tie right now, a zip tie, so we're all good. It's just, see that middle beam? I'm pointing for Leslie. Do you see the middle things? One of those came out.
The little rubber things.
Yeah. It's gone. So, I just zip tied it.
Yeah, I was going to say, temporary fix is fine.
Yeah.
Not forever.
Well, I can't wind yarn anyways right now because I'm a ball winder, so it all works out.
Trust me, that works out in Laura's favor. She is perfectly fine with having...
Leslie takes yarn and then she brings it back and it's wound. It's perfect. And I have a ton of nomadic yarns already pre-wound for my 361 pairs of Harry Potter socks that I have to have. She actually, Nomadic, put a master list in her RAV group of all her colorways.
Ah, that's cool.
So I can print that out and check off as I go.
To make sure that you have every color she's ever done.
There's some that I don't like. Like, I'm not a big, orange fan.
Yeah, it's definitely more to do with the color than her...
No. I like her dyeing a lot. It's just I don't like orange or yellow.
Or peach.
Oh, peach. It's a terrible color.
Poor sad peach. I need a little animation right here of like a poor sad peach crying.
Poor sad peach. It's just not my fave. Anyway, it's okay in contrast to some other, sometimes it's okay.
It's a sometimes color.
Sometimes in small amounts as a contrast.
Cookie Monster, the cookies are sometimes food.
Okay, don't get me started on your redoing of my beloved Sesame
I'm not redoing
Street.
crap.
I know, but that makes me... cookies are an always food, first off. And we can't switch sayings to make things more healthy for obese children. Like, Cookie Monster. Have I ever told you my friend who went to high school with me worked on Sesame Street and she made the cookies that Cookie Monster destroyed? They're made out of styrofoam.
Oh, no, I didn't know that. I knew that your friend worked... toured with Sesame Street Live.
She worked on actual Sesame Street for a year and a half maybe when she was in college as an intern. And she made Grover's, some of Grover, Super Grover's props, and she did the cookies for Cookie Monster and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. She's a pretty cool gal. So I think that's about it. Now that we're talking about Sesame Street, I don't think we've got anything else.
Not even sure how we got there. But...
I have a big bird feather at my house. Somewhere in my stuff.
I wonder how many times they have to replace that costume because people have picked it clean.
Well, I think it just sheds in general. I don't think it's Carol Spinney anymore. It used to be Carol Spinney for forever. I think he finally retired. Anyway.
That's it. For this week, we're going to go out and have dinner.
To celebrate Leslie's birthday. We're making her husband come with us for dinner.
Yeah. Because
he has no choice in the matter.
He told me on my birthday that he would take me out to dinner. And then a couple hours later, he was like, oh yeah, I'm on call. I can't really. And I'm like, okay then. We're going to go somewhere expensive. And you're going to take Laura.
We're going to have a good time.
So we hope you guys have a lovely week. And we will talk to you again next week.
Bye, y'all.